Hey guys, welcome back to another video from Let's DevOps. It's been quite some time, almost a month since we last released a video in our channel, but uh, firstly, apologies for that. I was really caught up with some work. Uh, but yeah, things will start rolling again on our channel in the coming days. So what's it going to be about this video? Today, we are going to look into how to perform a Jenkins upgrade to a latest version of Jenkins seamlessly using Ansible. If this is something that is exciting for you, then please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also pass on the word to your friends and community about our channel. Without wasting much time, let's get started. Right. Uh, so we are going to perform Jenkins upgrade using Ansible playbooks and role-based Ansible playbooks. If Ansible is something very new to you, please go check out our playlist where we have uh, getting started videos on Ansible to help you understand the terminologies, the structure of Ansible, and how you can get started with your first running your first Ansible playbooks. We have also, I think, touched upon Ansible walls. So, or if Ansible is something really new to you, I would suggest you to go and check out the playlist, get yourself the hang of Ansible, and then come to this video where we are going to dive into an actual use case to use Ansible and do something on the infrastructure level. Right. So before we get started, let's first run a Jenkins of some version, and then let's go ahead and see what we need to do in terms of Ansible playbook to upgrade this instance of Jenkins. Now, to get our Jenkins instance running, let me run one of my scripts that I have, which is run Jenkins with volume. .sh. So basically, again, all of this has been shared already in our previous videos. So there are a lot of videos we have already made with respect to Jenkins. So please feel free to go ahead and look at them. If you're wondering, hey, what is this script that you're running? All of a sudden, what's sitting inside? All of this has already been covered. Right now that I've run a container, Jenkins container, I should have my Jenkins instance running on localhost 8080. Yep, there you go. I log in with the credentials that I have. And so basically what I want, and you see that there are quite some data that is already sitting. There are a lot of pipelines that I've configured. There is a CI/CD tab where I've done a CI pipeline, CD pipeline. It has a comprehensive list of stages. If you get in, um, let me, AR. All right. So there you see there are a lot of stages. A proper CI/CD pipeline is what I've already configured. Again, all of this is already sitting in the playlist, so please do go and watch. Now, why I'm stressing upon this point is we already have a Jenkins instance with a lot of data in it. And one of the key factors of doing the upgrade is I want to retain the data. I don't want the data to be corrupt, yet I also want to do the upgrade. And what I wanted to show is basically currently we are sitting at the version 2.462.3, and we want to upgrade it to, let's say, 2.46, I don't know, 9 or something, whatever is the latest. Now, Jenkins provides you a comprehensive guide that helps you with with latest versions of Jenkins that has come out. And each of this has a release note. So basically, they say what prerequisite you need to have, what changed, and if there's any dependency that you need to get this version upgraded. All of that information is given in the Jenkins upgrade guide. So I would suggest before doing, as an industry practice, that's what we practice, before doing any kinds of upgrade, kindly thoroughly go through the upgrade documentation or the release note to identify what has changed, what is going to change, what is the prerequisite, what does it impact, and so on. It will help the organization and specifically production running instances. Right. Now, let's go back to Ansible because we are going to perform this upgrade using Ansible. So let me jump into my Ansible folder, and yeah, we are always going to perform role-based Ansible playbooks. So there is a specific folder called role-based. I jump into that, and you see there are roles, and this is the main playbook. So we basically execute the main playbook, and this in turn is going to go in and call the role that I need to execute. Again, I'm not going to dive deep into how the structure Ansible structure is for role-based playbooks, what's the flow and stuff. All of that is already been covered in our previous videos, so please do go and check them out. Let's jump into the roles, and I have a dedicated role for Jenkins upgrade. So let's jump into it. And I've tried to keep it as minimalistic as possible, lightweight, so that we don't complex things. What do we have? We have defaults, we have tasks, we have vars. Defaults are nothing but the default variables to which it falls to always, and it just has a main YAML. If I cat the YAML, this is pretty important because all of the important variables that is needed for us to perform this Jenkins upgrade is sitting here. What is the new version that we want to upgrade to? We want to upgrade to 2.47 just random number I just picked up. We were in 2.46, I believe. Yeah, 2.462. We want to jump to 2.479. That's in itself a pretty good jump. What's the container name? We want to run it as Jenkins. And the key important factor is that currently the instance that we ran is running with a mapped volume called as the Jenkins persistent data. If I give Jenkins, sorry, if I do a Docker volume, ls, Docker volume ls. Yeah, there are quite some volumes, but there you can see there is a volume called as Jenkins persistent data that I've created, and I've mapped it with this running instance of Jenkins so that all data that we feed to Jenkins, new pipelines, new jobs, new configurations, get stored into this Docker persistent volume. So after the upgrade also, the new instance should be mapped with this volume so that we retain all of the data that we have. So that's an important thing. So we need the Jenkins volume and we need a backup location. So if you go to the Jenkins upgrade guide, they ask you to take a backup of your current configurations, basically your Jenkins home, um, where you have all of your configurations. So basically they ask you to take a backup of your Jenkins home. In case the backup doesn't go clean as expected, then you can immediately roll back the backed up Jenkins home, again map it with the volume, and then bring your existing version of Jenkins back so that there is no catastrophe for the users who are using Jenkins. Right. Now that's mainly it that you need to get started with your, in terms of variables, that's pretty much it that you need to get started with the upgrade. Right, I come out and then I jump into tasks. I don't have a very complex playbook. I have a simple main.yaml and a couple of steps that I've configured. What do you need first? It needs to first check if a container with the name Jenkins is currently running, which I'm sure will be running because we consider this as a production use case. So there should be a container called Jenkins already running. So we want to stop the container. Also the case in our scenario, if I do a Docker PS, you see there is Jenkins running with the name Jenkins. So I want to stop it first. Then I create a Jenkins backup directory because as the upgrade guide says, I need to take the backup of the existing instance. So I first create a backup directory under temp. This is my backup location. Under temp, I want to create a directory called Jenkins backup and then take a backup in of the current instance as a tar.gz and put it into this temp Jenkins backup. So I first create the backup directory if it doesn't exist. If it exists, it just kind of um, skips or doesn't do anything. So I think currently we don't have this. Yeah, there you see, I'm trying to jump into Jenkins backup, but the folder doesn't exist. So it will have to create it on the fly. Right. And then once the directory is created, it is going to take the backup. So it is going to make it as a tar bundle of a tar bundle in this location as Jenkins data backup.tar. And it is basically going to take the content sitting inside the Jenkins volume. Jenkins volume is nothing but the Jenkins persistent data or the Docker volume we created um, initially to store all the persistent volume of Jenkins instance. Right? Good. You can pause the video to go through how exactly each task is configured, what are the arguments and stuff. But on a very high level, I'm just running through the tasks that is readed. So the backup is also taken now. Once the backup is completed, now we remove the old Jenkins container because we don't need it. Then we pull the new image And since we have defined which version of the image we need to pull from the variables, it goes to the Docker IO and then pulls out the image that we want, the version of the image that we want. In case there is an issue connecting to Docker IO, I don't want the task to be sitting there idle for ages. And so I give this a timeout 600. So basically it waits for an hour. Uh, is it an hour? No, 10 minutes. And if it's not pulling the image, then the task times out and fails. Same is the case with here. So we want to remove the existing Jenkins container, and you see the status absent. So basically that defines that you need to remove it. All right. Once the new image is pulled, then we want to obviously start the image, run the image. Policy is restart always, and mainly, we want to tie it with the volume and map the volume to stash var slash Jenkins home. That's basically your Jenkins home, and you want to map the volume there. Finally, if all of these tasks have succeeded clean, then we notify saying that, hey, your Jenkins upgrade, Jenkins has been upgraded successfully. That's all I've done here. And if I go back, what more we have? We have another vars. It is going to have exactly the same content as my defaults. Yeah, you can just choose to keep it in anything. If you have both vars and defaults, Ansible is going to, I think, look into the defaults. And if you remove one of it, it is going to fall back to any place where the variables are existing. All right, that's pretty much it. Now, let's come back to the main script that we are going to invoke to get this playbook running. If I jump out to the root folder, yep, where we have the main playbook, I will also quickly cat the main playbook. Super straightforward. Hosts, we don't have hosts, we don't have multiple machines. We are just going to execute it on this machine itself. So the host will be localhost. Become true is basically because I want it to be a sudo user. The become method is also sudo, which basically performs sudo tasks. So if you need this, if there are any commands in your playbook that needs to be executed as sudo, then you might have to give it this way, and only then it works. And var files secrets, not sure what secret is. Okay, maybe it's not for this playbook. It's in general. I always want to import the secrets file before executing my roles. Maybe it's not needed for this playbook because there's nothing that we are dealing in secrets. But in the case of your playbook executes REST API calls, and for the authentication, you might need your credentials. And in that case, you might have to have them uh, Ansible encrypted and put it into secrets. Again, all of this is covered in our playlist Ansible. So please go check out. I think there's a dedicated video on how to handle secrets using Ansible vaults. So, but we don't need it for this playbook. We are only importing it. We are not going to use it. And then jump into roles, and then we are going to run the role Jenkins upgrade because our role is named here. You see Jenkins upgrade. All right, now let's go ahead and start running the playbook. It's here we go. All right, so it has pretty much quickly run through all of the tasks of the playbook. Now let's go ahead and hit. Now let's go ahead and hit the localhost 8080 on the browser to see if Jenkins is coming up. Boom, there you go. Now I'm very interested to see if it has retained all the data. So I give the credentials for the login, and there you go. All of the jobs that we have configured is pretty much there. I go to CI/CD tab, all good. And more importantly, I want to check the version, and it has upgraded to 2.479.3. Uh, let's actually go here. So what's the latest version? So we have something called as 2.492.1. Let's do one more thing. So what we do is uh, I want to again upgrade it to the latest version. But before that, I want to talk on something very quick. Um, there was an issue that I encountered while running the playbook before, and I kind of fixed it. I want to talk about that. So what was the change I did? So basically, if I go to the role, Jenkins upgrade, the task, the main task.yaml where all of these tasks are executing, I missed to do the port forwarding. So if I come down, when I'm starting the new Jenkins container, I want the ports to be mounted to 8080 and 50,000. That is the agent port, and this is the UI port. I missed that, and hence I was not able to hit it on the UI. I just fixed that. And there was also one more thing I added. If I come to the top, stop Jenkins container. So if an existing Jenkins container with the name Jenkins is running, then this task will start. If there is no Jenkins container, then when this task is running, it will jump into a fail state and the playbook will fail. So in that cases, if I give ignore errors, it is going to try to stop a container called Jenkins if it exists. If it is not there, then it is going to throw an error, but it will not fail the playbook. It will basically continue, skip, and then go to the next task. Right. Now, what I'm interested is I want to upgrade it to the latest version, which means I want to go to defaults, main, and not sure if a version like this exists, but we can actually check that. So if I go to Jenkins, let's go to the tags section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this one, basically this one, and let's try and replace it here. So, all right, all good. Save. Also at one more place. This is at the defaults. There is also vars and main.yaml. I also want to replace it here. All good. Now let's go ahead and run the playbook. We already have Jenkins running. 2.479.3. Let's see how this one goes. Yep. Pulling the image, so it will take some time because this image does not exist on the local, so it has to connect to Docker Hub and then pull down the latest image. All right, so it has pulled down, it has started new Jenkins container. Brilliant. Now let's go again to the UI. What's happening? Brilliant. Jenkins is getting ready to work. Your browser will reload automatically when Jenkins is up. I already see some differences on the UI. I'm sorry. And once I log in, again, as far as the contents, things are looking good. Let me also navigate to. Yep, the plugins also look clean. And when I scroll down, Jenkins 2.4.2.499. That is brilliant. All right. Okay, let's see this. Some plugins could not be loaded due to unsatisfied dependencies. Fix these issues and restart Jenkins to enable. Okay, good. Let's go here. Makes sense to update because we have upgraded to the latest version of Jenkins, and the plugins that we installed are probably pointing to the state where our Jenkins was initially at. I think it was in 2. I don't know, 6 something, but now it's 2.46 something, but now we are in 2.49, which is a decent jump. So it makes sense to uh, do an update and restart Jenkins. There you go. Below you see that it is a checkbox. You can say restart Jenkins when installation is complete and no jobs are running. uh, makes sense to click this because once the all the upgrades are done, then Jenkins in itself will quickly check if there are any running jobs. The moment it identifies there are no running jobs, it will immediately trigger a restart of the Jenkins instance by itself. There you go. Looks like all upgrades are done and Jenkins is getting restarted. DevSecOps. Brilliant. There are no updates available. We are all good with respect to the plugins. Uh, Building on the built-in node can be a security issue. You should set the number of executors. Yeah, that's fair enough. So with that, I think we are done for this video. I hope you had some takeaways from this video. If you like the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. We'll meet you all in another video pretty soon. Thanks all. Take care. Bye-bye.